Hey folks, Steven Rondina from WinGG here, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Steam Deck. Now, the Steam Deck has been out for about a month now, and the good news is that there are a lot of great games you can play on it, and the reviews for it are generally positive. The bad news is that it's still really tough to figure out which games are actually good on the Steam Deck. In theory, Valve has the answer to that question with the Great On Deck filter in the Steam store. The trouble is that users have reported serious issues with a number of titles given that billing, including Horizon Zero Dawn and Apex Legends. On top of that, Great On Deck isn't actually an endorsement of the game's quality, it just means that it fits Steam Deck's hardware parameters and has effective controller support. With that in mind, we here at WinGG are going to be giving you our top 10 games to play on the Steam Deck. Now, we wanted to have a very strong list here that is very diverse in terms of its offering, not just in terms of genre, but in terms of the game's age, price point, and file size. Keep in mind, if you get the baseline of Steam Deck, you're only going to be getting 64 gigabytes to work with. We wanted to make sure we had a few extra options in there for you to just squeeze in at the end. Starting us off at number 10 is Yakuza Kiwami. A good portion of the Yakuza franchise is given Great On Deck billing, but we want you to be starting off with Yakuza Kiwami 1. While Great On Deck billing doesn't necessarily translate to a perfect experience in some cases, the Yakuza games most certainly do. Start off with Yakuza Kiwami 1 and go from there to start your journey through the beloved series. Now, if you want my opinion on how you should approach the Yakuza series, you should basically go in order. Yakuza Kiwami 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5 remastered, and then go back to 0, and then go to Like a Dragon. But for now, you can start with Yakuza Kiwami 1, and it'll be a great experience, whether you're playing on the Steam Deck or not. So number 9 is Untitled Goose Game. This is an indie darling from the last few years, and once again, it plays really nicely on Steam Deck, and it's a pretty modest file size in the grand scheme of things. Untitled Goose Game allows players to become the embodiment of nature's cruelty, delivering misery to random people just trying to make it through their day for no clear reason. The game is available on every major gaming platform, but the game's handheld feel makes it perfectly suited for the Steam Deck. Now, this game isn't necessarily worth revisiting if you've already played it on a console, but if you're new to this game and you really just want to have a nice game to play on your Steam Deck, you're not going to get much better than this one. Number 8 is God of War. A few major PlayStation 4 exclusives have made the jump onto PC through Steam, including God of War. The thing is that some of them don't actually play that well on Steam Deck, with users reporting serious issues with stability as well as stuttering. The good news is that God of War is not among them. Sony's Single Dad Simulator runs really well on Steam Deck and enjoys strong performance even at maximum settings. The game has a very strong story as well as rock-solid gameplay that's especially valuable for anybody who's been sticking exclusively to PC gaming in recent years. Like I said before, Horizon Zero Dawn is a great PlayStation exclusive title that's unfortunately been receiving some reports of poor performance on the Steam Deck. That'll likely be patched out over time, and those games will likely end up being a strong investment at some point in the future, but right now, if you want a nice PlayStation 4 exclusive to play on PC, God of War is the way to go. Number 7 is Doom Eternal. There are a lot of great first-person shooter games that are rated as Great On Deck, and that's not really a surprise when you consider how many games there actually are in the genre. The thing is that a big number of these games have a focus on multiplayer, and lots of PC players are just not going to want to play that on a controller. If you're a PC player that refuses to play competitive games on analog sticks, but still want to blast some enemies, Doom Eternal is the best option you can find on the Steam Deck. Doom Eternal is a rock-solid first-person shooter by any measure, and it runs really nicely on the handheld PC. The 2016 Doom title is definitely worth checking out as well for those who haven't played it and might want to save some change. Now, even if you're a hardcore PC gamer, there's a decent chance that you've ended up playing a Doom game on a console at some point. This ends up capturing the feel of playing the original Doom on the Super Nintendo in a way that's kind of surprising. Number 6 is Vampire Survivors. Now, this is a game that's really been one of the big breakout stars of 2022 to this point, and the good news is that this game is absolutely perfect for pretty much anyone to pick up for the Steam Deck. Vampire Survivors has a budget price and endless replayability, which makes it an exceptional pickup for anyone. The kicker is that this game requires just 250 megabytes of space, which means it can comfortably fit into the cheapest model of the Steam Deck for those who opted for it. Not only is the game really light on your hard drive, it's also really light on your wallet. This game just costs $3 American, and regardless of what region you're in, it's going to end up being one of the best values you can find on Steam right now. So now that we're at the halfway point, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, as well as check out win.gg. We're going to be delivering lots of high quality gaming coverage for here until eternity. Number 5 is Hollow Knight. Now this isn't really a surprise since the Metroidvania genre is absolutely perfect for consoles, which isn't really surprising when you consider the fact that Castlevania and Metroid are both primarily console-based games. There are a lot of high-quality Metroidvania games that run well on Steam Deck, including Infernax, Guacamelee, and Ori and the Blind Forest. The thing is that there are also a number of notable omissions at this point, including The Mummy, as well as the recent Record of Lodoss War. But of course, the top game in the genre over recent years has been Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is regarded as one of the best games in recent years, and for good reason. And on top of that, it plays really well on the Steam Deck. Hollow Knight is a very, very strong game that you should absolutely pick up, and it's going to give you a lot of value even if you end up playing it in short sessions. That said, it's also really good for a long session, and it ends up being really comfortable on your battery life for the Steam Deck, which is an issue in a lot of cases. Number 4 is Cuphead. Now Cuphead stands out in a lot of different ways, foremost among them being for its distinct graphical style. It also stands out as a really, really good game to play on the Steam Deck. The so-called Dark Souls of shoot-em-ups is a modern classic, and it runs smoothly on the Steam Deck and has a style that fits well on the platform. Some indie games actually have stuttering and freezing issues on the Steam Deck, something that would be disqualifying for a game like Cuphead that is really demanding in terms of its timing and execution. Thankfully, that isn't the case, leaving Cuphead as one of the best games you can pick up on the Steam Deck. There are a variety of good shoot-em-up games that you can get on the Steam Deck, but you're not really going to do any better than Cuphead. Make sure to check this one out, and look forward to the upcoming DLC. Number 3 is Elden Ring. Unless you've been living under a rock, you probably are understanding why this is on this list. Elden Ring is regarded by many as a modern classic, and that's for really good reason. This is an exceptional game, and the great news is that it plays very, very well on Steam Deck. One of the greatest selling points of the Steam Deck is its ability to play modern, AAA titles on a handheld platform. Elden Ring is a prime example of that capability. Though Elden Ring won't run on a Steam Deck as well as it will on a $2,000 rig, the Steam Deck can steadily get over 40 frames per second on Elden Ring, even with maximum settings. Now, as you've probably noticed, we here at WinGG really like Elden Ring. And the good news is that since it runs so well on the Steam Deck, this is pretty much the best option there is for picking up an open world action game that's going to last you hundreds of hours. Number 2 is Hades. Now this is a game that's widely regarded as one of the best games of the last 20 years, and it runs really well on Steam Deck. Once again, this is a game that's on basically every platform imaginable, and that means that it ends up feeling really great on the Steam Deck's controls. Not only does Hades look great and feel great on the Steam Deck, it's also pretty modest in terms of its actual hard drive requirements. If you somehow ended up missing out on Hades, this is the best opportunity you have to check it out. Make sure to pick it up on Steam Deck because it's perfect for both short and long sessions. Number 1 is Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley ends up really basically checking every single possible box that we've discussed so far. It's an amazing game, you can play it forever, you can play it for a short time or a long amount of time, it's modest on the hard drive, and it's just really fun. Naturally, this game ends up being one of the best on Steam Deck, and in my opinion, it is the best game on Steam Deck. Now over 6 years old, Stardew Valley remains one of the best games around, but the big thing is that even if you've already played it, Stardew Valley on Steam Deck actually already has full modding support. This means that it's worth replaying even for people who have exhaustively already beaten the game. There have been some performance issues with Stardew Valley on Steam Deck, including freezing and light stuttering, but the good news is that even with these problems, it doesn't really impact the gameplay all that much. There's a decent chance that by the time you've seen this video, whatever error is causing that will already have been patched out. The cherry on top of Stardew Valley is the fact that it's in the same boat as Vampire Survivors when it comes to its light hard drive requirements. The game calls for just 500 megabytes to start with, and even after you've extensively modded it, it tops out under 1 gigabyte. So that's our top 10 games that you can play on the Steam Deck right now. I'm Steven Rondina from WinGG. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and see you again in the near future.